Welcome back. This is your man Warrior, and this is going to be a first impressions of the Phoenix Squadron of those characters that are now currently in the game. So we're going to be talking about Hera, Syndulla, Chopper, Kanan, Jarrus, those three characters. Now there's three more characters coming into play, and when those three come out, I will go over their characters as well. First, let's go ahead and start with Hera, who we got to unlock just today. She has 4 abilities, a basic, 2 specials, and a leader ability. And first off, I'm just going to tell you that gearing these characters for purple, all of them on purple are above average. They're going to be grinds for all of them. But as far as the raid gear, they're about average. And then on purple, or on gold, they're actually really low on gold with the exception of Chopper. So let's go ahead and take a look at her abilities. Basic, outwit. We'll go ahead and go to the maxed out section now. This is really nice, this new ability to take a look at what they will become. So her basic is going to deal physical damage to a target enemy, and if that enemy was the healthiest, you can expose them for 1 turn. The healthiest is defined as health, the highest health, protection, and defense. If it has the highest defense, the highest health, and the highest protection, which more than likely will be their tank, that is going to be the healthiest character. But keep that in mind, it's a combination of defense, health, and protection. So if they're the heaviest, or if they're the healthiest, you will be able to expose them on her basic for 1 turn. So that's really cool. The next one is her first special, and it has a cooldown of 3. It's called Play to Strengths, and it's an assist call. This is really cool. So she's going to call a target ally to assist. So this isn't a random ally. This is a target ally. You get to choose who comes in to help. It says that ally's attack will have 25% more potency and deal 35% more damage. So this is kind of like the other assists in the game, such as Geonosian Soldier. If it's a Geonosian that comes in, it does more damage. Or like Qui-Gon Jinn's assist, you know, the other person that comes in deals more damage as well. But the difference is those call random allies. This is a target ally, so that's really cool. And this will increase their potency. So if on their basic they can do something that requires potency, it'll pretty much assure that that occurs. So that's her Play to Strengths. Backup Plan is actually a brand new buff in the game, and what it is it's kind of like Boba Fett's new ability, where once it's on, it can't be dispelled. That's the same thing. This cannot be dispelled. You get to choose a target ally, so you put it on a target ally. More than likely, whoever you feel like is potentially the character you're going to lose the fastest, or someone you think they're going to target first. And what that does is they get this backup plan for 3 turns. So they get it for 3 rounds, which is a great amount of time. And it will give them recovery of health every round. So each turn, they're going to get 10% health revival. And if they're defeated within the next 3 turns, they revive with 80% health and 30% turn meter. So they come back almost completely back to health, 80% of it, and then they almost immediately get another turn. And this backup plan ability cannot be revived. So a lot of people want to know what happens when Boba Fett executes somebody that has backup plan. Backup plan can't be dispelled, but it can be overridden. What that means is if it's on the top of your character, people cannot use like Sunfac or B2 or any of the characters that are going to take the ability of backup plan away. But if Boba Fett executes, it is written hard coded into the game that whichever character is killed does not come back. So Nihilus is another good example. If Nihilus uses his ability on someone that has backup plan, it's still going to kill them and they're not going to be revived. That is how it should be, and that is how it should be coded, because this is just something that can't be lost, but it can be overridden through code. So let's go ahead and go into her leadership ability, which is really cool. The leadership ability, Rise Together, says that each active Phoenix ally, so all of them that are on play, and you're going to have to use them all together or it's not going to work, is going to grant their unique ability, which, by the way, she has none, but they will grant their unique ability to all the other allies. In addition, whenever a Phoenix ally, which hopefully is everybody you've got on your team, uses a special ability, and they all have about 2 special abilities, they're all going to gain 20% turn meter. So Everybody's going to be using specials almost all the time, which means they're all going to get 20% turn meter pretty much every turn, unless they're doing basics, which means that you're going to be getting an exorbitant amount of turn meter, which makes your entire team way, and I mean way faster. This is like Rex or Stormtrooper Han on steroids. That's, you don't have to worry about activating. So this is really, really cool. This effect is doubled, means they'll gain 40% turn meter if these Phoenix allies have less than full health. So if any of them are getting killed off, they're going to speed up twice as fast as they normally would anytime somebody uses a special. So her specials, play to strengths and backup plans, will give 20% turn meter each time she uses it to her team, and 40% if they're under 100% health. That's phenomenal. But she doesn't in and of herself have a unique that she will share with the rest of the team. Let's take a look at Chopper. Now, Chopper is one of the worst to gear in the in the new lineup that's coming. So he is one of those characters I would probably, since there's 6 and you can only have 5 on a team, and there is another tank, I would probably leave Chopper on the chopping block. I would probably not develop him of the 6 that are coming out. So let's go ahead and go through his abilities. The first, his basic, is Reckless Fling, and it will deal physical damage to a target enemy and grant a random Phoenix ally offense up, defense up, or speed up at random for 2 turns, with a 60% chance to also reduce that ally's cooldown. So that's pretty cool. Give them a random ability and possibly cool one of their abilities down on a basic. His first special, Cantankerous Clanker, says that Chopper will gain taunt for 1 turn, and while he has the taunt buff, he'll gain evasion, 30% evasion. So he's going to be real hard to hit, but he taunts. So that's pretty cool. And if you were looking for 2 taunts, potentially this taunt is going to be the most annoying of all, because he's going to get to do it for 1 turn, and by the way, it has a cooldown of 3, and then when he does it, he'll get evasion, so he'll be hard to hit. So that's just keeps him around longer, and it's just super irritating. Plus, when he uses this special ability, everybody's going to get turn meter. His second special, and when it's used, everyone will get turn meter, is Dispels all buffs on a target enemy. So he's a dispeller, but only for 1 target, and it says for each buff dispelled this way, all enemies, every enemy on the other side, will lose 10% turn meter. So this is a turn meter gain and loss game, and she's going to be giving everybody turn meter, and he could potentially cause them to lose the turn meter, and he'll gain more protection, 25% more protection. And then any droid that's stunned is going to, or any targets, droid targets will be stunned for 1 turn. So especially if you're going against droids, he's going to be an anti-droid specialist. So that is pretty cool in that ability. Remembering Metal Menace, when he uses that special, everybody on the team will get more turn meter. And the last, the unique, he will share this with everybody on the team if they're Phoenix allies. So you want to remember this is going to go to everyone. So at the start of each of his turns, everybody on the team, if they're all Phoenix, they will all recover 15% of their max health. In addition, whenever they're damaged by an attack, they're going to gain that much protection up if they don't have protection up. So if he's in a unique team that's not Phoenix, this will only apply to himself. But if he's in a Phoenix team, it's going to be health and protection recovery, essentially. Recovering max health whenever at the start of their turn, and then whenever they're damaged, to gain protection up. Really, really, really cool how this synergy works together. And Kanan. Now, Kanan is a Jedi and a Rebel. He's the first of the Jedi that they've introduced. The other 2 are Rebel droids or Rebels. This one is a Jedi Rebel. And he is a tank as well, and he'll have a unique he shares, as well as 2 specials that will feed into the turn meter for the team. So let's go ahead and go through his Disarming Strike. At max is basic, will deal physical damage to target enemy and inflict offense down until the start of Kanan's next turn. Now, remember, when she gets to call her assist, her first special is an assist call, gives them plus potency, 35%. So if she calls Kanan in, he's going to almost assuredly give them offense down. So he's going to continually force their offense down, and the offense down is going to affect how hard they hit, both in basic hits and in critical hits. So this is really important. It says if this attack scores a critical hit, that means him hitting them critically, the effect can't be resisted, which means it's a guarantee. They can't resist the ability of having the offense down. So you're going to want to get his critical chance and critical damage up. So when he's hitting people, he's hitting them for critical damage. So that's pretty exciting. That's his basic. Then his first special is called Intervene. And it's a cooldown of 3, and it says it will deal physical damage to a target enemy and taunt for 2 turns. So he's a taunting tank that can taunt two out of every 3 turns, so almost all the time. And if you had Cantankerous Clanker, aka Chopper, in there, he could taunt for the other turn that Intervene didn't work for. So anyway, he'll get 2 turns, and he's not just taunting, he's attacking and then taunting, which is a really, really cool thing. And then it says, so it's after he's taunted, dispel all debuffs on another target ally. While Kanan has this taunt buff, his tenacity is doubled. So this is really, really intricate, and I want to go over this so you fully understand the amazingness of this particular special ability. He's going to deal damage to a target. That target may potentially have retribution or may have something that causes them to attack back. Maybe it's B2 that gets triggered and he attacks back, right? So somebody or something may potentially be triggered by your attack. So then, after he attacks, he taunts simultaneously. It doesn't say then, it says and taunt for 2 turns. So taunt will become simultaneously applied once he attacks. So he's going to attack, potentially triggering a retribution style attack from someone like Kylo Ren or Baze or Chirrut or someone like B2, and then he's going to dispel all debuffs on a target ally. So while he has this buff, he'll have tenacity doubled, which is even better than tenacity up. So if his tenacity was 50%, it'd be 100%. So essentially, he's not going to be affected by any of that retribution. Anybody who's countering and attacking back, he's going to resist those abilities and make sure that he doesn't get hurt, or, if it's Sun Fac, they're not going to get critical chance down or anything like that applied. The other thing is he's going to dispel all debuffs on a target ally. So we know that if anything was applied in that retribution, he's going to then dispel it immediately, instantly, which is absolutely amazing. That is a really, really, really cool ability. His second ability, and remember, both these specials are going to trigger additional turn meter, 20% or 40%. 40% if they're under health and under 100% health, and 20% if not. So his total defense, second one, is Kanan dispels all debuffs on himself. So he's going to make sure he stays clear, because he is a tank and he wants to be able to keep himself clear from all those debuffs. And it says, then grant himself and another target ally protection up for 2 turns. 40% protection up. This is kind of like in ships. How much protection they get is absolutely unruly for a couple of turns through Jedi Consular and some other ships. Same thing, but he gets to choose a target ally. So whoever is hurting the most, you get to target that ally, and they'll get protection up, and he'll get protection up for 40% for 2 turns, and he clears all the debuffs off of himself. Now, the last Clear Mind is his unique, and his unique will be shared with all the other Phoenix Rebels. So all the other Phoenix allies are going to get this as well. So this should just say, it says Kanan, but it will be everybody who's a Phoenix Rebel. Everybody on the team that are Phoenix allies are going to get a 70% counter chance and recover 25% health whenever they suffer a debuff. So any debuff, any Empire team, any Sith team, and any team that's applying debuffs, it is going to not only trigger their counter chance of 70%, but they're going to gain health as well. So this is really, really cool that they share that with everyone. So what do you think about these 3 characters in the lineup that we're looking at here, and the future 3 that are coming out? Are you going to farm these characters, or are you going to wait and just let these pass until they become free to play? What are your thoughts? Leave them in the comments down below. As always, keep your gaming on. Warrior out.